Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Jenny, INTERPID girl reporter. I've heard the rumors and decided to investigate. So, I hitched a ride on a trans-territory flutter, and here I am, my Iretonia. Sister Judith, passionate, but twice as cool, really cool. So, I'm broadcasting live to Earth via private satellite radio with some stories to share. Is anybody listening?
Yes! A little louder, please.
Stories of joy nowhere else, and you might learn a thing or two. Stories about what you ask, stories about movements, bodies, and people. Stories of rainbow love and a powerful woman. Stories of challenges and glories. The story of Iretonia. You meet THUNDERWOMAN the voice, MESHYLA the genius, CUNTINA the mind, and the young one the heart. And there's also the man who shared the scene. But first, I invite everybody to please turn off all electronic devices. Now, what happened earlier on Earth is part of the story. Here's what they told me. THUNDERWOMAN spoke, and wisdom was locked out by ignorance. The young one gave her heart and received a vision in return. Continued to flex her muscles and was labeled a freak. MESHYLA sought to feed the hungry, but was pitied as a critic to be pitied and ignored.
So, no surprise, we four, the young one, CUNTINA the mighty, MESHYLA the genius, and me, we took off. We took to the skies, soaring, rocketing our way beyond the moon, and many other Crip women followed us and landed on this mid-sized planet next to Venus and somewhere north of Mars. It was the charge of the Crip Brigade. ABs to the left of us, ABs to the right of us, some helping, some hindering, as we scrambled towards the space shuttle and blasted off from Earth to Iretonia.
We named it thus, Iretonia, ire for the anger about the men who didn't feel like they needed Crip women. But born of rage, it has become a place of peace, our beloved land, where we can work side by side and heal and thrive and survive. And we do. And every night we share our stories with each other. Some of us have anger. Everyone has a certain amount of pain, emotional and or physical. But we rise above to be who we are today.
It is indeed a wondrous planet that MESHYLA has brought us to. It's all ours with land to farm. We bought implements to farm with. We planted wheat, corn, lettuce, tomatoes, and potatoes, orange trees, lemon trees, walnut, and almond. We feed ourselves and make our livelihoods from this land and work side by side under the guidance of MESHYLA, truly an intergalactic goddess.
Tell us your story, MESHYLA. Begin with how it was on Earth.
I was born moral. That much was clear in the hometown of another storied goddess, Helen Keller. 1 century later, I shivered in her shadow for the first years of my life. A little blind girl who likes to draw and swim and play with robots and the other animals instead of dolls. For my parents, given to peer pressure, there could be no doubt I must be a super Crip. After the 13th surgery, I stopped counting them, figuring I must be impervious to scalpels and anesthesia. Surgery was like a hobby like ballet or piano lesson. When you are very young, you enjoy the attention. The doctors and the nurses are so nice, another new stuffed animal. But then, I began noticing the other children, the smiling bald cherubs, riding tricycles in the halls of the hospital, the sullen cutter at the end of the hall. As for me, after so many years as a medical experiment, I wanted to be in the driver's seat and study the life-saving possibilities of mutations. So I became a bioengineer.
Oh, MESHYLA, to work with you, truly a dream come true. Side by side with other women, the solar power, electric, with meaning, with purpose, pushed aside by the man, bringing in our dream come true. Iretonia, I have waited all my life for you.
Oh, MESHYLA, I love you. Not only for your wisdom, but here in Iretonia, I am free from penis power. I, a Crip, say freely, I love women. On earth, billions of dollars are spent to help men keep their private parts, penis, working until death, but not a cent to help Crip women. And they ignore all other elements needed to produce a healthy planet. My dear, beloved MESHYLA, you work to heal and feed us all, and I love you for this. I am your devoted warrior to defend you and Iretonia.
We work towards a healthy planet for all. Bioengineering was my calling, and figuring out how to make food more plentiful was my goal. I thought about my disabled friends, how their bodies adapted to all kinds of challenging circumstances, and I wondered if brain could be affected at the cellular level to have mutations, disabilities, and could that make brain cells better at adapting to a less hospitable climate. I started experimenting in the lab, and I figured out how to essentially give a weak brain cell a traumatic brain injury. I was elated to find out that these partially paralyzed cells could grow in anything. It was hard for me to believe. It worked, but it did, and I showed it to my colleagues and they scoffed. They called it wishful thinking, a crippled woman's adult dream, but I knew it could work. This could be the key to increasing the world's food supplies. I lost my job, my grant, research, and was out on the streets, academically speaking. Then, the human genome was decoded. And the Neo-Eugenics Party took power. They got it into their heads to get rid of all the disabled people on earth to protect their precious gene pool of the normates. Disabled people were faced with forced sterilization or mass extinction. THUNDERWOMAN and CUNTINA helped me assemble these brave women, and I packed up my weak brain cells, and we stole a transport shuttle, and here we are, Iretonia.
That's quite a story. Somehow I'm not all surprised that you chose space travel or ascension. But tell me, has it been difficult?
Of course, especially in the early days. But now we have our mechanical engineers to melt the metal we find and forge the metal into farm implements. We have our agricultural engineers to figure out how to plant the seeds for our crops. And we managed to bring some cows, horses, chicken, roosters, and pigs from Earth.
Pigs even sounds like a hell of a lot of work to me.
True, but worth are not so fond farewell to Earth. Ridiculous ideology, queer, crip, revolutions, spinning and weaving, dancing and playing ball in our wheelchairs. Earth's expectations for us were very low, rising above the shit, the pain, a ridiculous ideology that our lives didn't matter. Here we tend the land of our beloved Iretonia and care deeply for each other. See us in the blackest night, the brightest day. We are wrapped tightly and wired in all the colors of the rainbow, bold, beautiful, and disabled. We make our lives on our planet. Leaving Earth was the best thing that could have happened to us.
So, all this sweetness and light on the planet Iretonia, that's hard to believe.
Oh, we fight sometimes too about who's working the hardest, about who's the best dancer, about who's the most ardent lover, about who's the best storyteller. You know, petty squabbles.
I always tell THUNDERWOMAN, I am stronger than you and more of a leader. So of course, MESHYLA wants me. THUNDERWOMAN talks with her emotions. She is all physical. She lives with her flesh. I live with my spirit. I need not touch MESHYLA to give her love. I can send and feel her love no matter where my body stands. I am like a soldier ant that opens a jar of jam no matter how tight the lid. I will sacrifice my life and send my love unseen.
But CUNTINA, I am gentler than you, and I'm a hard worker bee. I work in these fields from dawn until dusk, every day, and I do this gladly, and MESHYLA knows this. She also knows the fires of desire, the erotic poetry of the young one. It brings in me just this fire. And listening to the sexy music of Madonna, a pop icon whose music we brought with us from Earth, of course MESHYLA will want me.
So, how do you keep your arguments from interrupting your work?
We dance! I am CUNTINA, warrior woman. I pride myself on my physical strength. I teach the other women to be strong, to dance when we plow our land, to dance when we bend our quick bodies, when we plant our seeds, to dance in the springtime, and to dance when we thresh the wheat, pick the corn, tomatoes, potatoes, and harvest time. Our joy is to dance. Quarrels fade, love rises up with the sound of the drum and the tambourine. Our joy is to dance.
That's what other girls say. Sad
Iretonia again, but we have the fires of the warmth of each other. We will eat what we harvested in the fall, which was the fruits of what we planted in the spring, to dance, to swirl and twirl in the summer sun, but in the winter, to keep us warm, we tell our stories every night.
This is weird. This is weird. I'm surrounded by nothing but pussy. I'm not about existing in a world with no penis. I cannot do this. I am going to place a smile on my face because I don't want to seem rude. I tried. When I first came into the situation and found out there was no dick, I wasn't with it, but they had to be lying. I had to see it for myself. I just didn't believe it. They were telling the truth. I feel as if I was lied to, although I did it to myself. That is not the point. How the hell do you live in a world with no dick? I find myself sucking on random shit. I have been deprived. This is not right.
I can see how that's a problem. But for those of you who enjoy each other, how's the sex?
Really good. Touch to touch, taste to taste. We arouse each other into the midnight and beyond. Kissing deeply, sucking hungrily on your nipples, circling your clit, then penetrating your love cave with 2 fingers, then 3, because that's the way you like it. That's the way you need it. And you come in a rocking and rollicking orgasm, and the saltiness washes over the both of us, and we rest in the shelter of each other's arms until we begin again. Hot, molten lava, your kisses exciting, your ruby lips so kissable, cuppable breasts so nice to suckle them, your clit, your love button so nice to circle there, your love cave so welcoming, so nice to be inside you.
Wow. I would say that you clarify this enormously. Wouldn't you agree? But there's always a but, isn't there? As time went on, there was a crisis that had to be dealt with, no?
Yes, that is true. We were working in the fields, just threshing our wheat, when we saw a purplish light and heard strange, loud, keening noises. A door opened from a metal crack, and out stepped 6 men, skinny and haggard. Then a man began to plead with us. Please help us. There's a terrible drought on Earth, and all of our natural resources have dried up. We can barely sustain human life.
Yeah, but you didn't want MESHYLA, our brilliant scientist, ideas about how to form the land on Earth. Now you come here hungry. No, don't let them off the ship. Their eyes will glow with unmitigated greed. Once they see how well we live, their faces will gleam as though they have found a treasure of gold and rare jewels. I say send them back. MESHYLA, your kindness will be seen as weakness. They will plot against us and division will grow, destroying the peace among us. The men will use their penises to addict the young ones. The mucus from their penis will seep into their wounds, penetrating through their thin layers of skin into their bloodstreams, causing penis addiction. Then these women will help those men destroy Iretonia because their addiction will become like heroin, and they too will lie and steal for their dependency. I say send them back before they steal from us. Give them enough food and water and nothing else.
No, CUNTINA, if they are willing to do the hardest labor and live on the edge of our land, which we have named Iretonia, ire for the anger about not having been valued on earth as Crip women. But we could teach them, and then they could go back to earth, and they can use MESHYLA's ideas there.
I like some of the men on earth.
So we decided to embrace them here, even risking penis addiction. On earth they rejected me, they rejected us, but we will embrace them here. Begin to teach them how to impregnate barren soil with new life. We couldn't let the earth starve.
Oh, yes, we could. They would starve us in a minute if the roles were reversed.
But CUNTINA, helping them will ultimately help us. And MESHYLA prefers a peaceful relationship between our planets.
Yes. MESHYLA wants our survival. We all do.
Wait, so 6 men joined you here at Iretonia?
Yes, and it was all going smoothly. The men worked hard. We called them ABM.
Bowel movement.
Able-bodied men.
I got this secret. Y'all better not tell. If you want to find out, you best beware. It's horrible, it's terrible. I'm just trying to warn thee, but if you want to find out what lies behind this swamp and uniqueness, just pull back these sheets. You'll see my wickedness. If you want to see the terror that lies behind my eyes, then you'll see that messing with me will not seem like winning a prize. A prize, I say a prize. Don't look into my eyes. They will hypnotize, mesmerize, and categorize what he must look like to win the #1 prize. I imagine him placing his trace into my innermost being. As he leaves his mark, I'm squirming, while telling him to stop, yet begging for more. I let him tap my continent into submission. As I reach my peak, I'm running, wishing my belly could handle the beast, but I imagine it's too much. Our bodies come together as one and we sweat it out. I have no doubt he can take me there. My body's shaking uncontrollably, lips quivering, and mentally I can't think straight. I hate it took years for us to get here. I feel it approaching rapidly, my mind constantly racing. I get wet thinking of him. I'm ready. I want him to make me come like never before. I own the lockbox. He possesses the key. I'm waiting for him to open it. As he entered my thighs, we locked eyes. For a moment in time, our hearts beat as one, like a drum. Our hearts were pounding as we were sounding like monkeys in the jungle. I felt his rumble and it was amazing. While we kissed with my tongue, I caressed his lips and the taste was blissful. As he suckled my nipple, I held on tight because I detected turbulence. As my waters flowed, he went deeper and I was screaming at the top of my lungs. I trembled as I imagined his thick thimble implanted inside me. I submit. As I let him drive me, he is penetrating with all his might. I imagine him being the best I ever had.
Okay, we get it. And you want to tell us so. So to back a beat or two, what do you do when the men first arrive? How do you come to agreement on what should be done?
Well, we were just starting to harvest the wheat. when alarm bell rang out.
Thieves, thieves, fox in the hen house, fox in the hen house. One of them stole from our food store. He must be punished severely. They should all be punished. I told you it wasn't going to be easy. When the men came to Iretonia, now one of them has stolen our food and stored it in their spacecraft. Their lives are forfeit. I'll tear them apart. If it was not for MESHYLA and her love and respect for all of living entities, I would kill them all. We cannot let them leave. They will tell the others of our wealth, and they will come from earth bringing more wickedness to our peaceful land. They must be put in total and complete isolation. No one must ever know that they exist.
Well, yeah, we need to do something. We should punish all of them by making them work doubly hard on our land and replenish all the food that has been stolen. But the man who stole the food, we should tie him up with the heavy ropes we use for the horses and the cattle. The rest of the men will have to figure out what to do with him when they return to Earth. You were right, CUNTINA. You should have paid better attention to your words when they first arrived here.
I think we should treat him with loving kindness. He'll learn the error of his ways.
We are strong, physically, emotionally. We don't need the men to tell us we are weak.
We will continue to work with them to show them how we tend the land of our beloved Iretonia.
We will continue to teach them, to work with them, to ensure that they can understand our methods and how to feed the earth. But we will watch them day and night, and then send them back to Earth. CUNTINA, I trust you with our security. Please arrange the guards.
I'll watch them myself, day and night.
Maybe I will go back with the men to Earth because I don't want to continue to live on Iretonia with women only.
See? Penis addiction.
So we continue to work on Iretonia. We have happiness that we will go back to our land without the men, but it's mixed happiness because we have lost our young one. And I love you, young one, and I love your brilliant poetry as we work in the fields.
A rose is a rose. A statement that has never been contradicted. But I'm a humanitarian. I believe in the beauty of life. I believe in my warriors. I believe in Iretonia. I believe in survival. I'm MESHYLA.
Revealings, joy, pain, gritty girls, Crips that know the passion of life, arising to a better way of being in the world. Women, we won't take all the untruths. Crips, we will make our own truths. Mentals with emotional intelligence, we will hone our weapons of survival. We will love ourselves as we love others. No, you cannot make us go away. We are here to stay.
It does is a report from Iretonia. Judith and Jennifer Justice, broadcasting live via satellite radio. Sign off.
poem I'm going to do is a poem I've done before. It's called Me and My Disabled Sisters, but I want to dedicate it to a disabled lesbian who is a Jewish woman. The reason I mention that is she was a very spiritual Jewish woman, and she died in March. She had been in Wry Crips and done a lot of other work in the community. So I'm dedicating my poem to Leslie Ford. Me and my disabled sisters, we create anew a possibility that's buried under any university's walls that has kept us chained to the back walls of any city's hospitals, mental or otherwise. We arise and will not be blotted out by erasure, by all we can and will accomplish. Courage, determination, endurance. We bring gifts as though from another galaxy. See us in the blackest night. We are dust of angels in the nearest constellation.
Richard III is one of the best-known disabled people in history and literature. I've always been fascinated by him. In fact, I have a crush on him. Over the years, I've seen many able-bodied actors contort themselves to physicalize him. And tonight, I am going to embody him. My favorite of his speeches, which is actually from Henry VI, Part 3. They've just won the War of the Roses, and his older brother has taken the throne. Well, say there is no kingdom then for Richard. What other pleasure could the world afford? I'll make my heaven in a lady's lap, and deck my body in gay ornaments, and witch sweet ladies with my words and looks. Oh, miserable thought, and more unlikely than to accomplish 20 golden crowns. Why? Love forswore me in my mother's womb, and for I should not deal in her soft laws, she did corrupt frail nature with some bribe, to shrink mine arm up like a withered shrub, to make an envious mountain on my back where sits deformity to mock my body, to shape my legs of an unequal size, to disproportion me in every part like to a chaos, or an unlicked farewell that carries no impression like the dam. And am I then a man to be beloved? Oh, monstrous fault to harbor such a thought. Then, if the world affords no joy to me, but to command, to check, to o'erbear such as are a better person than myself, I'll make my heaven to dream upon the crown. And whilst I live, account this world but hell, until this misshaped trunk that bears this head be round impaled with a glorious crown. And yet, I know not how to get the crown, for many lives stand between me and home. And I, like one lost in a thorny wood, torment myself to catch the English crown. And from that torment I will free myself, or hew my way out with a bloody axe. Why, I can smile and murder whilst I smile, and cry content to that which grieves my heart, and wet my cheeks with artificial tears, and frame my face for all occasions. I'll drown more sailors than the mermaid shall. I'll slay more gazers than the basilisk. I'll play the orator as well as Nestor, deceive more slyly than Ulysses could, and like a Sinon, take another Troy. I can add colors to the chameleon, change shapes with Proteus for advantages, and set the murderous Machiavel to school. Can I do this and cannot get a crown? Tut! Were it further off, I'd pluck it down.
I'm going to share a historical account with you from 1398 to 1831. And before I get started, I want to say to you, the audience, that don't look at the good or the bad of it, because it just is, it just was, it's just something that happened on the human highway, and nothing else, and nothing else. I hope you enjoy Black Diamond. I was born in South Carolina on a breeding farm. My master, Master Bradley, he was proud of his farm. He would brag to the other plantation owners. I'm producing 90 slaves a year now. Yes, sir. When I tell my slaves to breed, that's what I mean. Gentlemen, you must exploit the use of the whip and the gun in the nigger business. That's how you keep them in line. I tell you, the nigger business is a profitable business. Well, one day, I was put in a pen, like a cow in a bull pen. And some months later, I had a beautiful baby girl. Oh, she was so pretty and soft and delicate, like a flower petal. I just loved her so. But the other women told me not to get too attached to her. They said they come in to pick up all the babies during picking time. I told them women, ain't nobody coming to take my baby nowhere. And I continued to protest until Mama Rebecca said, Gab, that baby belonged to Massa, and you fretting ain't gonna change that. Now ain't nothing you can do about it. So I resolved that I would lose my sweet baby, and I did what the women told me to do to prepare my baby for her life ahead. I started touching her baby legs to the ground, but her legs would not hold her body. She was about 6 months old then. But the women assured me not to worry. They said sometimes their legs didn't get stronger until they got older. I tried again and again to stand on her feet, but she just wouldn't stand. And then when she got 9 months old, the women alarmed me that her baby had a better chance of surviving if they could walk when they were taken to the baby farm. So I started exercising her legs every day, but she still wouldn't stand. Then one day, Mama Rebecca said, bring that baby to me. And she looked at my baby's arms, her legs, and then her back. And then she looked at me with pain in her eyes, and she said, honey, your baby ain't gonna never walk. I've seen babies like this before. I said, oh, she gonna walk. She getting stronger every day. She'll be all right. I tried again and again to stand on her feet, but she just wouldn't stand. Some of the women, they started giving me remedies, and I tried them all. And Mama Rebecca, she just kept walking around saying, And after a few weeks, the women began to whisper and shake their head and whoa when they looked in my direction. And I got real quiet. I was worried, but I was too afraid to talk about it. Then one day, I got courage and I went to Mama Rebecca. And I said, what's going to happen to my baby? And she paused, and then she looked at me with sad eyes. And she said, honey, your baby got to go back to the spirit world. I said, what you trying to say, Mama Rebecca? What Master gonna do with my baby? She said, Master can't use your baby. right by her, she wouldn't survive anyway. I said, Mama Rebecca, what Master gonna do with my baby? She said, he gonna kill the child. I said, oh no, Mama Rebecca. I know Master ain't gonna kill my baby. He can't kill no innocent little child. Oh no, I'm not gonna let Master kill my baby. I ain't gonna do it. And Mama Rebecca, she told me again that my baby was going to die. And the other women, they agreed with her and told me to kill my own child. One of the women even offered me a sleeping herb to give to my baby, saying it'd be kinder for me to put my own baby to sleep. Well, I exclaimed, I'm not killing my baby and Master ain't either. No, I've been a good slave. I worked hard. I'm not gonna let Master kill my baby. Does y'all hear me? That day I held my baby real close to me, and I kept saying, no, I ain't gonna let him do it. The next day, Master, he come to the barn to collect all the babies. And he checked each baby thoroughly. And then he get to me. And he said, Gal, I heard your baby ain't got no feelings in his legs. I quickly responded, oh, she getting better. She getting stronger every day. She gonna grow, Master. And after he took the baby out of my arms and he tried to stand the poor little child on her legs, and her legs just dangled beneath her. And he just dropped my baby on the ground like she was a bug. And he turned and he told the overseer, sir, I want you to do what I paid you to do. You should have destroyed this here pup when it was born. I want you to do it right now. I began to beseech Master with all of my capacity to speak. Master, I'll take care of my own baby. I won't take a break, but just don't kill my baby, Master. And Master, he just kept on walking. And the overseer, he come over and he tried to take my baby out of my arms. And I started shrieking and screaming like a mad woman. Don't kill my baby. Please don't kill my baby. No, I ain't gonna let you do it. Please, let my baby live. And Master, he turned around and he walked back over to me. And he said, Gal, does you have some papers on this here nigger? I said, Master, don't kill my baby. Let my baby live. And Master yelled, you ain't got no baby here, Negro. This here baby is mine and not yours. And I done does what I want with it. Well, my eyes inflamed with a bitter threat. And I stared Master right in his face, right in his eyes. And I said, I'm not going to let you kill my baby, Master. I'm not going to let you do it. And Master snatched my baby out of my arms, and he slinged the poor child on the ground, and he kicked, and he stomped until my baby lay in a puddle of blood, dead, dead, dead. And Mother Rebecca, she picked up my limp baby, and she walked away. And the women held me real tight in their arms. They wouldn't let me move. Then they began to moan and make song from my grief-stricken sounds. Lord, Lord, Lord. Lord, 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 come down here, Master up above, come down here. There is water running deep in our land. There are tears flooding this old land. Lord, 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 come down here and put your hand on me. Thank you.
I'm Iretonia, it's okay, because we believe in too. Internalized ableism is allowing others to define our truths and explain our bodies as an apology, as a mistake. It is a little voices inside our heads, making it to want to yell out, but can't because our inner cripple is not yet liberated. Internalized ableism is focusing on walking again, or seeing again, or being able-bodied again, while throwing away a perfectly livable life. Because we've been led to believe our lives of disabled people have no worth unless they're attached to a able-bodied goal or able-bodied dream. Internalized ableism is refusing to see our lives as lovable, as powerful, or beautiful, and paint our disabled lives with able-bodied brush. Internalized ableism is believing that our bodies are incapable of pleasure, allowing others to define how we should define pleasure. Because many people believe broken bodies doesn't feel, broken bodies doesn't give, broken bodies doesn't understand love, intimacy, sexuality. Internalized ableism is body shaming, crip shaming, using disability as a bad word, using disability as a double-edged sword that cut deep inside our own fears. Internalized ableism is holding back the tears that will allow us to heal, accepting other people's definition of beauty, and referring to our bodies in language not reflective of love. It is not knowing how to love our differences, not recognizing our uniqueness as the one thing that makes us whole, by believing that wholeness must always equal able-bodiedness, must always mean going back to pre-disabled form, because that's a norm, and nothing else would do. Otherwise, you have no value, no purpose, no reason to live. Internalized ableism is feeding the lies that portray our lives as pathetic and empty of joy, purposeless, and void of a value and hope. Believing the shit we've been fed and turn away from the struggles of others because we don't want to see ourselves there. Internalized ableism is holding our differences as much as we can, concealing our scars, covering our imperfections, not able to say disability pride with pride, not feeling offended by the use of crip by non-crips, allowing us to choose how to refer to us and what language to use when doing so. Internalized ableism is only sharing able-bodied pictures of ourselves. That we've been disabled for a while, not wanting to be friends with other disabled people, reminders ourselves that we're not one of them and believing that those people do have problems. But they're not our problems because, well, you know, as long as we internalize our fears, we can convince ourselves they won't come true and live our own this everybody world where we can hide our disabled side until the day when, hopefully, we realize that we always have been whole, that we always have been worthy, and that we've been able to see ourselves in the mirror of others, whose body looks like ours, whose lives reflect our lives, and find beauty and hope and human potential, instead of brokenness and fear and wasted humanity. For only when we recognize each other's value, our own humanity, make ourselves evident to ourselves, and to our world. Thank you.
I'm gonna do this piece that I wrote. The title of it is I'm in a long distance relationship and I want sex. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. I'm in a long distance relationship and I want sex. I want sex right now. I want him to make it wet, not me. This shit ain't right and I'm angry. Fuck. I'm trying my best to suppress the anger, but it's hard. Damn right. My nipples hella hard. My pussy is throbbing and I have dreams of lollipops. This dildo don't work no more. Come on. This dildo, where am I? Okay. Okay. This dildo don't work no more. My fingers ain't shit. My fingers ain't shit. I need a real dick. But look though. Fuck him. Not really. I'm just angry. I'm in a long distance relationship and I want sex.
I believe for every drop of rain that falls, a flower grows. I believe that somewhere in the darkest night a candle glows. I believe for everyone that goes astray, someone will come to show the way. I believe, oh, I believe above the storm that the smallest prayer will still be heard and that someone in that great somewhere hears every word. Every time I hear a newborn baby cry, touch a leaf or see the sky, then I know why I believe. Every time I hear a newborn baby cry, touch a leaf or see the sky, then I know why I believe.
Come rolling in, when the Crips come rolling in. Oh, I want to be in that number when the Crips come rolling in. Oh, when the Crips come rolling in.